I watched the Greta Thunberg interview that you did, which I thought was great. It was such a lovely interview. And it was
it turns out the internet definitely 50-50 on that.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I was scrolling down the comments, and I don't know if I've got some setting on, but every single thing I saw was positive. And I thought, is this just the nature of Russell's audience? Plus, is this just how algorithms work now? I would imagine that my assumption was that every single comment would be just awful invective. But there was loads and loads of love for it. And I felt
definitely. There's a lot of love, but it was a real window, like in sort of I spent a couple of days with her, and she was really great and really interesting. And I just wanted to know what it was like being in the eye of this storm. Yeah. So the interview is essentially me going, what's it like as a human being? And so she gives this very kind of human, very funny interview about, being what it's like to be Jesus, essentially. So, I loved it. I just think there's a lot to that of trying to, make topics funny without leaning into the thing that will make the audience go, oh yeah, the others wouldn't like that, would they? And I think there's a lot of stuff at the minute that is where there's this fictitious other, and you do a joke, and then you're like, hey, that's for us. They wouldn't. Whereas the other side couldn't give a. But if you can try and be in the funny about, whether it's politics or kind of family or kind of, sociological stuff or whatever it may be, that's what I'm really interested in. I think that's sometimes the problem with political stuff, that it at its worst, it kind of leans towards collapse. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because people are so invested. But if you can do a joke about, like there's a joke in the special about, it's, where you see a lot of people going, it's so hard being a comedian. And then there's this bit about the toughest crowd I can imagine is doing show and tell, and the kid that had to follow Greta Thunberg. Mm-hmm. So that's a joke that is about Greta. Mm-hmm. But I would hope she would find that funny, and fans of Greta Thunberg would find that funny, and people who didn't like Greta Thunberg would find that funny. I really like that idea of getting the laugh on topics without necessarily getting the ding-ding.